All right, so should robots have rights? And I know what you're thinking. You're like, why should we even think about robots having rights? I mean, we don't even have robots right now. But let's go back in time. Let's think 10 years back when the iPhone 3GS was just released. We didn't have FaceTime. We didn't have Siri. We didn't even have Uber or ride sharing. We have self-driving cars now. We didn't have those back then. Netflix has only been streaming for about a year since then. So thinking back 10 years ago, who knows what we could have 10 years from now? We could be in robots 10 years from now. So, looking at Sophia, that robot from Hong Kong, she already looks just like us and can speak just like us. So we could have robots that talk just like us and be like us, but we might not consider them like us because they aren't like us. If that makes sense. Because think back 200 years ago when black people, us, were considered less than people because we were slaves, we were workers, we were considered actual people. And so, as a computer science major and an avid science fiction reader, I agree with people like Isaac Asimov, who was a science fiction writer, that robots should be considered people and have rights. And so today we'll be discussing the current state of robots, the future state of robots, and why robots should have rights. Currently, robots aren't smart enough to have rights. They are just simple things. They just do simple things like your phone. Your phone's a robot, for example. They're able to go on the internet or just solve math problems or something like that, or move around, stuff like that. However, the IEEE defines robots as an autonomous machine capable of sensing its environment, capable of carrying out computations to make decisions and performing actions in the real world. That sounds like a human if you really think about it. We're autonomous, we're able to see our environment around us, we're able to do things based on how we perceive the world. Pretty much a human. So really, robots are just the template for a future human. Let's go into what the future of robots are. As we manipulate robots, they'll become smarter and smarter. They're able to do more and more, and maybe they might be able to eclipse us. For right now, one robot can fold clothes about 77% accurate as a human can, and that's just right now. Pretty soon, robots will be able to program themselves and be able to become smarter than us and see the environment smarter than us. As such. And like a baby, robots will grow smarter and smarter and be able to learn about the world and become more conscious about the world and eventually become just like us. This generation of robots are the workers, but next generation they'll probably be smarter than us and probably be the leaders of the next world. It makes sense to keep intelligent beings as slaves because they're good at working for now, but it doesn't make sense to keep them as slaves forever because they're not gonna be just workers in the future. And so, a quote to keep in mind, we're fascinated with robots because they're reflections of ourselves because they're going to be just like us. And as robots grow bigger and they grow smarter and they start working like us, eventually they'll become a hot topic of debate where we decide, should robots have rights because they aren't like us? And they should. They are like us. They are us, pretty much. We're just little baby versions of ourselves running around growing smarter in a sense. And so when the time comes, do you really want to consider someone less than us because they're not like us just like 200 years ago or even 50 years ago? Yeah.